Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here with my new best friend, Zach.
Hey everyone!
And we have been hanging out for about, I don't know, a month now.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a month. What is time?
It's probably been about that long.
Yeah.
But, today we're going to be talking about how we met and some crazy experiences we've had together. And if you guys want to listen and stick around, then keep watching. So, Zach, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and how we met and when we first met each other?
Okay, this is... So we actually met back in, I think, February or March. It was somewhere around there. And we have a mutual friend, this really amazing guy. And he invited me over to this party that they were having at their house. So I walk in, and right as soon as I walk in, you were the first one that said hi to me, I think.
Maybe.
I think you were, because I walked straight through the door. There was no one to greet the door. And you just said hi.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You kind of just walk in at this guy's house. It's not, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I probably did because I'm super friendly and he was a new and different person and I just saw something in him.
Oh, how sweet. You saw the devil in my eyes.
Something.
Yeah, so we basically just hit it off. We spent the whole weekend together at that guy's house, and after that, we didn't really see each other until I think Phoenix Pride in May.
That was April, but yeah.
It was April, okay.
So the next month. The next month. Well, about a month went by.
Yeah, definitely. So we ended up hanging out at Pride the whole time. We went in this big group, and I think you and me were hanging out with each other the most because we kept branching off, and yeah, we stuck by each other.
Pride, I mean, this year it was a lot different for me, at least, because this was my second year going, and it just wasn't as crazy and just action-packed as my first time going was, that's a given, but having him there, we met so many people, and it's nice to have someone that you share a lot of common interests with.
Yeah.
So
it's when you're new to a place, because I've been in Arizona for less than a year, and when I moved out here, I was honestly really lonely to a point where when I met him and our group of friends, it was to the point where I was thinking of buying a plane ticket back to Connecticut. It just, when you're secluded for so long, you just seem to forget how to even socialize with other people, how to be open,
and that's one thing I just gotta say that made me kind of, I don't know, reach towards Zach, is because he's from the East Coast, and not a lot of people that are in Arizona are from the East Coast, let alone as close to Maryland as Connecticut is. We're raised with the same morals and upbringing in a way, and we kind of notice differences out here, the same differences, which is cool because, it makes you feel less isolated and less like you're on an alien planet or something crazy you've never been.
That's exactly how it feels like.
Yeah.
Because I think too, when I came out here, it was definitely a big culture shock for me.
Right.
Because I'm coming from Connecticut and New York, I'm coming from the city, it's fast paced, and it was fairly a more liberal part of the United States that I was in. So when I came out here, I did notice Arizona, there's parts of it that are very conservative.
So what we're going to talk about now is some crazy experiences that we've had going out, because this guy and me have been going out for a while now, like I said, about a month. And every time we go out, we either get treated like crap or we have the time of our lives and we meet the most amazing, wonderful people. we're not going to mention any names, but
For their protection.
for their protection and ours.
We're gonna sound like those 50-year-old white women that rate review and Yelp. Unacceptable service.
I almost did, I'm not gonna lie. But this was last Sunday, and we were hanging out. We wanted to go get brunch, some mimosas and some food. And we're both of legal age, by the way. He's 22, I'm 21. So we both wanted to go to this famous place that's local and in walking distance from my apartment, and it's really known in the gay community. Like, most of the gays go there around here. So we wanted to go there, and we walked over there, and as soon as we walked up to the little podium that the two hosts were standing at, we asked them, if we could have some food and sit in the dining area. And they're like, oh, we have a food backup. Now, I've never heard of that. I know that happens in restaurants, but I've never heard of that, and he's never heard of that either.
I was like, what is a food backup?
Yeah, that really weirded us out, and I was like, so...
terminology.
It was weird, too. They were, not being serious in the way that they said it. They kind of had, smirks on their face. And so I asked them, how long would it take to wait? How long would the wait be? And they were like, the first guy was like, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, that's okay. That's like a normal wait time for food. And then the next guy beside him was like, oh, no, it's going to be 40 to 50 minutes, probably an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And we were both weirded out and getting really hangry, and we wanted to just eat, to be honest. So we went across the street to this really cool sub place and got a sub, 2 subs. He got his vegan sub. Well, he loved it. So
yeah, it was good. I mean,
so after that, we went back to the place that we originally started at, and we just wanted to get mimosas. So we walked up to the same podium, saw the same guys, walked past them, went to the bar, and as soon as we got up to the bar, you tell them what happened.
So we get up to the bar, and this guy says to us, we'll be with you in a minute. Now, he goes and takes off, and we just never see him again. And there's 2 other bartenders there.
Mind you, he doesn't even say hello. Mm-hmm. He doesn't say good morning, nothing like that. Good afternoon, nothing. And it was just so rude. And mind you, we are the youngest people in the place. Mm-hmm. Everybody around us looks probably mid-30s, early 40s, and
maybe
beyond.
Some late 20s too.
Maybe a little bit here and there, but we by far looked very young compared to everybody. So there's 2 other bartenders that are at the bar. I have my ID out and ready to show them hey, I am of legal age to drink. I'm not just a 19-year-old sneaking in trying to get a drink or 2. Right.
So they're just sitting there just flat out ignoring us, and
I see while he's waiting, I'm getting kind of heated, and I have a way of sensing things kind of when I should make my mind up. My brain kind of just sends signals okay, this is the decision making time, and it's hard to ignore. But I saw these 2 guys come up and get drinks and go, and I was like, okay, and then time kept going by, then 5 more minutes went by, and we still hadn't been seen. It was almost like we were invisible. Literally, people were, it was crazy. Nobody was making any sort of eye contact with us. The 2 other bartenders weren't bothering at all with us. So I was like, let me go inside, because there's another bar table inside. So I walked inside. There's a drag queen performing, and there's a bunch of people sitting down just watching. It's not a crazy drag show either. It's just a drag queen just...
It was a comedy show almost.
Comedy show,
yeah.
The vibe was so serious and dark, and it was literally 11 a.m. It was crazy. And I just wanted to drink. We have money to spend, we have money to tip. That's all we wanted to do. And as soon as we got in there, a minute went by, and a bartender came over to both of us and was like, all of these people paid for these tickets. You can't really be in here unless you have tickets.
Yeah, he made it sound like we were plebeians, and we're like, oh, you can't afford this ticket.
Right.
It's not for you.
Right. So we decided to leave. I was like, we both weren't feeling the vibe, so we just left. And we walked down to a different place that we go to all the time. We just had a great night, or a great time. And we actually saw another, like one of our favorite YouTubers while we went to that other place, which was really cool. Me and him both really enjoy his videos. What's funny is that we just went to that same place that we had to leave, the bar that we were just talking about, and we just went there yesterday and we had a great time.
Yeah, I was walking in and expecting like the worst, just like bracing myself, and there was no one there. It was very small and intimate, and the bartender was super nice.
Super nice, super cute.
Yeah.
And he knew how to make drinks, and it was a good day. So we always have fun when we're together. Lately, what I really like about him too is that he's not lazy and he's not scared of the sun or the heat, even though it gets pretty intense out here in Arizona.
Oh, hell yeah.
For us East Coasters, it's like times 10. But he really enjoys hiking as well as I do, and we've been doing that a lot lately. And it's a really good way to kind of disconnect and get away from the city and all the, networks and everything.
For it.
Yeah, for sure. And Arizona is it's like the best place to live if you want to be able to do that. It's such a beautiful state.
Yeah, and the scenery is so much different too from the East Coast.
Totally different.
When I came out here, I was just so mesmerized by like things that I never grew up seeing.
Right.
I think the palm trees, though, that was like...
I know, it's like Hollywood. I felt like I was in California. I was like, I didn't even know Arizona had all these palm trees and mansion developments and everything, you know?
You think you're living in the desert. When I was coming out here, everyone's like, you're moving into the middle of the desert? They're like, are you going to be living in a mud hut? Are you going to be riding a horse to work every day? And I'm like, where do you guys think I'm moving to? Like the 1800s?
So, anyway, I'm just really happy because it's crazy. I realize that you can really speak anything into existence. Like, guys, I was getting so lonely there for a while, just working and living in this apartment by myself and hanging out with maybe one or two people. But once you start to kind of have hope and just, I don't know, you have to do a little bit work on your end too if you want something to happen and come into fruition.
Absolutely.
But it's crazy when you sit back and you realize how easily it can happen. So that's how we met. Like,
yeah,
it's so funny when we first met and he came to this guy's house, this party. I'm gonna tell an embarrassing story, but he was wearing these Doc Marten boots, and I don't know what it was. Like, he must have walked in a swamp or something, but we were all sitting...
All right, crucify me.
We were all sitting at the couch. Everybody smelled this horrid smell. It smelled like a dead skunk that had been baking in the sun for 14 days. Like,
okay, that's a little dramatic.
I'm sorry.
Go off.
It really did.
Go off.
I'm going off because it smelled. I still have a little bit of it in my nostrils. But I was like, your feet smell. We need to take your shoes off and put them outside in front of everybody. And I felt like I couldn't take it anymore, but I wasn't being mean at all in the way I said it. I said it in the most respectful, I didn't say it in a mean way. And
I don't know if I took it wrong at first though.
You probably did because nobody else had the balls to say it, and I was tired of smelling skunk butt. So I love you. I love you.
You better sleep with one eye open tonight, let me tell you that.
I don't think... Were you wearing socks?
I was.
Okay. Because I know sometimes when humans don't wear socks with their shoes, like the sweat and stuff can make the smell really bad. But I don't know what it was. But that's how we met. Like, that's crazy. And then, we had fun at Pride. And we go out together, and we make sure each other doesn't spend too much money or go home with the wrong person,
That's really important.
We're kind of like sisters in a way.
Yeah. Like James Charles. Sisters.
Like Gay
Sorry,
sisters.
James Charles, if you're watching this.
Anyway. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm not hoping, me and Zach are going to do so many videos together because I've been waiting for a friend like him that's not afraid or thinks it's weird to get in front of the camera and just film yourself and what you're doing and all the fun you're having. But
well, I'm really happy to be a part of your world now.
I love you.
I love you. We're gonna raise hell.
We're gonna raise hell.
Paint the town red.
We're gonna show you how the twinks do it, okay?
Oh yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
Team Twink.
We're still working on our motto. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye guys.
Bye.